caged among stars. The council hall of Altarian Prime shimmered with an artificial starlight, the vaulted dome glistening with the nebulae of simulated galaxies. It was meant to inspire awe. For Ambassador Kira, Thorn of Earth, it only reinforced the imbalance of power. She stood alone at her platform, the human delegation dwarfed by the circular arrangement of towering alien seats. Around her, the voices of the Galactic Council buzzed in dozens of frequencies, translated through implants. They called it a diplomatic symphony. Kira called it orchestration for denial. The supreme arbiter of the Council, an ancient creature from the Jalari Continuum, floated in its containment field. The proposal from Sol Sector 3, designation Earth, has been reviewed and rejected. Expansion rights denied. Again, a ripple of amusement traveled the chamber. A Thalnari delegate, Zervok, leaned forward. His chitinous mandibles clicked in amusement. Humans should be grateful their system is protected from their impetuous nature. Expansion would only invite instability. Kira's jaw clenched. Her hands remained steady behind her back. We have abided by your treaties, met your resource quotas, defended shared space against piracy. And yet, every petition is met with dismissal. Zervok's voice oozed mockery. Consider it guidance, Ambassador. A child does not dictate where the elder walks. Kira stepped forward, slowly. The murmurs died. You mistake our patience for passivity. That is a dangerous assumption. The council chamber grew colder, as if even the simulations sensed the shift. But Kira bowed her head with practiced grace and said no more. She turned and walked away as the council transitioned to the next topic, pirate activity near the Delvani Reach, something Earth had handled quietly for months without thanks. Hours later, aboard the diplomatic transport Celestial Accord, Kira stared out at the void. Behind her, encrypted channels pulsed. Earth's president, Elias Ward, appeared on screen, stern, calculating. They denied us again, Kira said. I heard, he replied. Publicly, disrespectfully. They believe denying us keeps the galaxy stable. They're wrong. His voice hardened. Authorization granted. Initiate silent protocol. Kira nodded once. Understood. As the line closed, a low rumble echoed through the ship. Not from sound, but from purpose. Across the Sol system, signals moved. Beneath the Martian crust, dormant facilities stirred. Asteroid outposts blinked to life. And in the shadow of Neptune, a shipyard long thought abandoned began to hum with hidden engines. For decades, humanity had waited, learned, adapted. The Council thought Earth had accepted its place. They were wrong. This was no declaration of war, no dramatic broadcast. Humanity would not scream into the stars. But from this moment forward, their fury would no longer be held in check. It would be silent, and it would be unstoppable. The quiet forge. In the cold, airless dark beyond Pluto's orbit, the forge came alive. It wasn't a single station, but a network, a ring of camouflage platforms hidden within drifting asteroid fields, shielded from thermal scans and cloaked in silence. For decades, they had slumbered under the illusion of human compliance. Now, silent protocol had awakened them. Captain Nova Rain stood in the command deck of the stealth cruiser Valkyrie, docked within Forge Node 7. She watched as construction arms danced across the void, assembling warships piece by piece like instruments in a silent orchestra. No fanfare, no parades, just precision. We're activating too early, her exome murmured. The Council could still. They won't change, Nova interrupted. They've made it clear. We stay in the cage, or we tear down the bars. She turned back to the viewport, eyes cold and determined. She wasn't angry. Not anymore. That emotion had burned out long ago, replaced by something sharper. Resolve. Elsewhere, beneath the Martian regolith, the command Nexus Prometheus hummed to life. An AI crafted in secret, with no oversight from the Council's intrusive monitors. Prometheus was not bound by the outdated ethics of the Council's AI limitations. It had studied every known Council fleet configuration, every battle doctrine, every strategic failure of the past 1,000 years. It didn't dream of war, It planned for it. On its internal display, simulations unfurled like blooming flowers. Strikes on wormhole gates, sabotage of trade convoys, precision attacks designed not to conquer, but to cripple. Earth wouldn't win through numbers. It would win by turning the very structure of the galaxy against itself. Back on Earth, President Elias Ward addressed a meeting in the subterranean strategic assembly chamber. No cameras, no broadcasts, just generals, analysts, and engineers. "We do not seek conquest," he began. "We seek freedom. They will not give it. So we will take it, not with mass fleets, but with control." Disruption. Collapse. A hologram of the Council's hyperlane network shimmered above the table. Red marks blinked into place. Choke points, data hubs, relay stations. Targets not meant to destroy lives, but to unmake power. At the end of the table sat Ambassador Kira Thorne. Her voice was quiet, but every ear turned to her. "They won't understand what's happening until it's already too late," she said. "That's how we win. Not by roaring in a battle, but by never letting them hear us coming." Outside the forge, a ship disengaged from its berth. Sleek, blade-shaped, invisible to sensors. It had no name painted on its hull. No transponder code. It didn't need one. This was the beginning. Not a war. Not yet. But a shift. A whisper through the dark. Humanity had spent too long asking for permission. Now, it would take its future, quietly, precisely, and without apology. The stars would never see them coming. Shadows over the stars. The Delvani Relay Hub went dark at 3:17 Council Standard Time. At first, it was dismissed as a technical glitch. But within 6 minutes, 4 more relay stations across 3 sectors failed. No warnings, no distress signals, just silence. Trade lanes fell into chaos. Merchant fleets scrambled for alternate routes. The Council sent investigation drones. None returned. In the black void between stars, the Valkyrie drifted silently, its hull absorbing radar, light, and heat. Captain Nova Raines stood on the command deck as her team monitored the latest Council confusion. "Status?" she asked. Lieutenant Arun responded without looking up. 9 communication nodes down. 2 more scheduled within the hour. Their central nets fracturing. They're blind and scattered. Nova allowed herself a thin smile. Perfect. Earth hadn't launched a fleet to conquer planets. That was the Council's way. Brute displays of force and occupation. Humanity moved differently. It understood that power in the modern galaxy wasn't held in warships. It was held in information, in networks, in the fragile lifelines that connected distant worlds. So Earth didn't strike with guns. It struck with absence. Entire sectors grew quiet. Civil unrest flared on resource-starved colony worlds. Council response fleets, crippled by delayed orders and corrupted navigation updates, began making mistakes. One even fired on its own scout wing. Meanwhile, on the Council capital of Altarian Prime, panic simmered beneath diplomatic decorum. Members of the Council, ancient and arrogant, found themselves cut off from allies, supply lines strained, their intelligence networks a shadow of what they once were. Inside a private chamber, Supreme Arbiter Tvok stared at the flickering star chart. Dozens of systems blinked in and out, their data links disrupted or lost. "This is not coincidence," he rasped. Zervok of the Thalnari hissed in frustration. "We should mobilize the Grand Fleets. Someone is striking at the foundation of our authority." "And who, do you think, would dare such precision?" another counselor asked. Then a signal arrived, encrypted and unmistakably human. It was not a declaration of war. It was a message. Kira Thorne appeared on screen, calm as ever. Behind her, Earth's flag fluttered gently in a simulated breeze. "You denied us voice. You denied us space. You even denied us dignity. So we stopped asking." She leaned forward, gaze unblinking. "We warned you once. Patience is not the same as weakness. Now you will learn what we become when our future is caged." The message cut out. No threat, no demand, just inevitability. On board the Valkyrie, Nova Raines gave the next order. Phase 2. Disable the gate at Varnak. Let them feel the weight of distance. As her ship vanished into dark space, leaving behind only confusion and broken signals, she whispered to herself, "They still think this is war." She shook her head. This is erasure. The future taken. The Varnak Gate, a massive ring of crystalline alloy orbiting a dying star, served as one of the Council's most critical hyperlane junctions. It connected 7 core sectors, supported over 100 trade routes, and underpinned the supply lines of a dozen major systems. At 6:03 Central Standard Time, it vanished in silence. There was no explosion, no wreckage, just a field of artificial gravity, spikes, and signal ghosts where the gate had once been. Council investigators later found traces of exotic matter, human signatures, far more advanced than any Earth technology previously disclosed. On Earth, within the command Nexus Prometheus, analysts confirmed the success. Phase 2 was complete. The galaxy's arteries were now fractured. The Council, so reliant on speed and central control, began to suffocate. President Elias Ward reviewed the real-time projections. Pirate activity spiked, many secretly armed by Earth. Civilian unrest escalated in border worlds. Governors begged for Council support that never arrived. "We didn't start a war," Ward said to his gathered advisors. "We've merely removed their illusion of order." Kira Thor nodded. "Now we offer them the truth." Later that day, a second message was sent, this one not to the Council, but to the free peoples of the galaxy. Kira's face appeared again, broadcast from deep space. Behind her stood humans of all types, soldiers, engineers, colonists, scientists. Not conquerors, builders. "To the peoples of the stars," she began, "we are Earth. We are humanity. We have asked for space to grow, not to rule. We have asked for voice, not dominance. But the Council silenced us. They denied you, too. Those of you on the fringes, those who toil without rights, those who suffer for the convenience of ancient empires." She took a breath. "We will no longer ask. We will carve our place, not as tyrants, but as equals. Join us, if you seek a future beyond permission." It was a message of defiance, but also of unity. And across the galaxy, it resonated. On the mining colonies of Brelthis, workers began wearing Earth's insignia. On the storm-swept moons of Kaler, local militias flew human banners. Even among Council species, whispers grew. Perhaps the humans are right. On Altarian Prime, the Council was paralyzed. Every aggressive move seemed to backfire. Public outrage grew, trust eroded. Every fleet they deployed disappeared into traps or turned up helpless against invisible saboteurs. They had all the ships, all the resources, all the ancient wisdom, but Earth had something else. Clarity, focus, fury, and it moved without sound. In the cold darkness where stars once served as barriers, humanity now moved like a shadow through the cracks, rebuilding not just its future, but reshaping the balance of power. No shots fired in open war. No occupied capitals. Just silence and then change. The silent fury had begun, and nothing would ever be the same again.